Hey. Thank you for tuning in to a special episode of the Interracial Perspective Maturity Not Included podcast, a place where we discuss a wide range of topics from any to everything, but most importantly, a place to be yourself. I'm LC, and joining me as always is my lovely co host, Aaron. Hey, Aaron.
Hey, LC. Welcome back, everybody.
We are excited to have no other than Dukes join us for this special episode to talk about pretty much anything. Hey, Dukes, and thank you for joining us. We're so excited.
Hey, Elsie, Aaron, thank you for inviting me to join you guys on your lovely podcast. It's an honor to be here with you guys today.
We are so excited. So, Dukes is a mother of three. She's a true crime and sports fanatic, and she's very outspoken and a stubborn bull, AKA, she's a Taurus. So, Dukes, when is your birthday, if you don't mind me asking? Because we are in the Taurus season currently.
We sure are, and my birthday is May the 20th. It's actually on the cusp of Taurus and Gemini,
Oh,
so it's
nice.
double stubbornness over there.
Got two ways of being stubborn with that.
Absolutely.
And then, if you don't mind me asking, where are you from?
I was born in the Azores. That's a 9-island archipelago off of the coast of it's in the North Atlantic. It's about 1,400 kilometers west of Lisbon, Portugal, and about 1,500 kilometers northwest of Morocco. So it's right there in that area there. It's what they call the Macaronesia region of North Atlantic.
Oh,
So it's 9 volcanic islands. So I was born in Santa Maria. Beautiful. It's my little paradise.
oh, nice. So, where are you now currently, if you don't mind
I
sharing?
I'm currently in Canada.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I'm in Canada. I've been in Canada now for 32 years of
Oh,
my life.
wow.
Now, do you ever go back to you said Santa Maria, correct?
That's correct. I'm actually embarrassed to say, but I haven't been back home in over 20 years.
Oh,
That
wow.
was the plan to go this year, but unfortunately, with COVID and kind of set things back. Actually, I've been planning the trip back home for a couple of years now. So in 2020, that was a potential time to go. Unfortunately, we lost my dad in April of 2020. So those plans kind of were put on hold. And then we were going to go this year um, to spill dad's ashes, me and my siblings. We were planning a trip back home to get that done. And unfortunately, again, with COVID, we haven't been able to. But eventually, one day I'll go back. I'll go back.
Yeah, we're sorry to hear that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's part of life, you know. It's hard, but your life doesn't stop. You got to keep going.
Right.
No, that's very true. But we are a follow of yours, so when you do get that trip, we will be looking for some photos
Oh,
just to see how
definitely.
beautiful that is.
Definitely. I every time I want to, just go down memory lane, I still go through some of the photos, and then of course I have some family on Facebook, and one of my dad's cousins is constantly posting pictures of the island. So I kind of feels like I'm there, but not there. It's not the same seeing the pictures, but you kind of reminisce on those days. I mean, I was in Santa Maria until I was about 14 years old. So I did live quite a bit of my life there. So I do miss home. I honestly miss home.
Well, hopefully you'll get a chance sooner than later. I have a question, and that is, can you tell us something that's interesting about yourself that most people wouldn't know?
Something that is interesting about me that most people wouldn't know. I'm pretty much an open book. I've been, the only thing recent that I can say people don't know is I'm going back to school as of Monday. I have forensic psychology course, so I'm pretty excited about that. And I think it's my passion for the true crime and doing research in certain things. I look into wrongful convictions. I do my own little research. So all of that kind of prompted me to why not do something that I'm passionate about? Why not get into at least a step into that field? So that's what I decided to do. And classes start on Monday, and I'm pretty excited about that.
Well,
Oh, nice.
congratulations
Yeah.
and good luck
Thank you.
to that.
Thank you.
Forensic psychology is very interesting. So,
It
do you
is.
have a favorite true crime show?
I pretty much look into all of it. Sometimes one catches my eye more than others, but I do watch a lot of Discovery. That is my go-to place. See No Evil is a pretty good one.
I like that one too.
Yeah, 48, the first 48. I like for years. I think I've seen all the seasons. Most of the time, I just go back to season one and just start watching it. Or, or sometimes I just don't even watch it. I'll just sit in my room or in the living room and I'll have my true crime podcast going and I'm doing my crossword puzzles and just stop and go like, oh, that didn't make sense. Rewind, type of thing. Another thing that we like to do in my house, especially me and my two daughters. My daughters, my oldest is a female, my youngest is a female, my son is the middle child. Poor thing. He loves her to death though. But me and my girls, we usually like last night we did this that was after midnight. We just looked at each other. Let's go for a drive. We stopped, grabbed the coffee. True crime podcast playing, and we just drove around for about 2.5 hours listening and trying to figure it out. Like, okay, this makes no sense. What do you think? And what this is the little things that we do in the house, right? Three of us are huge true crime fanatics.
So I have a question. Maybe this might sound familiar to you. There was and they actually talked about it on All About the Tea. Shout out to All About the Tea. Hey Monica. They talked about there was a woman, and I literally was just talking about this episode with my mom and Aaron that had went to Harvard, and she was very like rude and aggressive towards other people. And she was a teacher, and she would say to the students, figure it out when they would come to her for help because they didn't understand the assignment. And then she actually physically attacked another woman inside of a restaurant because they had gave her a high chair over her. Does that ring a bell to you? I'm trying to
I
figure out what show that was so I could finish watching what happened, because I had it on in the background when I was working at home one day, and it caught my attention because Investigations Discovery is always on in the background. If it's not that, I'm playing the video games, as most people know. But it stopped me in my tracks. But then I couldn't figure out what it was because that's when Aaron came home and we started talking about the day and everything. And it had went off by that time. And we have Hulu Plus where you can't go back to see what was aired previously.
It does sound familiar. Be 100% honest with you, I can't remember where I've seen that either.
My mom said it sounds like it was Deadly Women, but I don't think it was. Because to me, Deadly Women, I feel like they normally, you could correct me if I'm wrong, because that's one of the shows that I like really don't watch consistently, but they normally take place in like the old days.
Yeah,
Not-
I don't watch Deadly Women that often. Maybe once in a blue moon
yeah.
I'll watch it. I mean, but that story is quite familiar, but I just cannot pinpoint where I've seen it either.
And I was going to ask because I know LC, you watch a lot of the ID stuff, but there's also stuff on Oxygen. Do you watch both the channels and do you favor one over the other?
I do watch both of them. ID is still my favorite, my to-go place. They do have awesome shows on both, but for some strange reason, ID is where I tend to go to more often.
Yes, I gravitate more towards ID. Oxygen does have some good shows like Murder for Hire. Oh my goodness. Is there like a true crime show that just got you to the point where you couldn't watch it or made you feel paranoid or some sorts? Like, for example, for me, I can't watch Disappeared.
Oh, I love Disappear.
I can't watch that. I
I
can't watch
love
that.
Disappear. I don't know. I'm kind of I'm all over the place when it comes to certain shows. Snapped is one of them that I was really into at one point, and then I'm going like, okay, seems to be the same story over and over and over again. I'm done with you.
Yeah.
I'm not watching you anymore. But all the other ones, it's I take turns of what I'm watching, right? So I don't really get bored of one show over the other. So, for
Hmm.
instance, if today I'm watching Disappear, tomorrow I'm gonna watch, let's say, See No Evil. So little things like that. So
I
I
really
tend
like
not.
See No Evil.
I like it. I just like all those little shows where, as you're watching, you can formulate your own opinion based on what you see in and what you're hearing.
Yes.
I like to formulate my own thought of, okay, this kind of pinpointing to this particular individual, or this is not really making much sense. So this is the way I formulate my show. Sometimes I'm just here and I'm just watching, but I'm talking to myself out loud. Like, that didn't happen. That makes no sense. You know, it's just me and my little world. And from small, I've always been into these crime shows. While I was in high school, I prepared myself for law school, and I did take a couple of years of law. Unfortunately, I don't regret it, but unfortunately, things didn't pan out the way I hoped they had. I ended up getting married at a very young age, and then I found out I was pregnant with my first child, and I told myself, okay, I am going to put my career on hold. I'm going to concentrate on being a mom, take care of my child, and then I'll go back to school. Fortunately, 3 years later, I got pregnant again for another one. So I kind of that goes back on hold. But I don't regret not continuing with my schooling in terms of completing my law degree, because at that point, and I still feel that way, that my children came first. You know, my children
Definitely.
came first because I did not want to leave my children with a stranger because my mom worked. I have no sisters. My other siblings are two boys. So I would have no one really to leave my children with so I could go to school. So I still stayed attached to law in a sense, even though I did not complete what I wanted to do. I still do a lot of law research. During my divorce, I worked side by side with my lawyer. So I kind of got a little bit of practice on court proceedings, even though I've attended some just out of fun to go to courthouse and listen into a hearing. I did that very often in my
Hmm.
younger days, but that is something that I may still do. Probably not as a complete law school, but probably get into some sort of the paralegal world. So
Yes.
my forensic psychology is step one. The next, something else will come in place. But it's always been a passion of mine. Like even on YouTube, Law and I believe it's Law and Crime or Crime and Law Network. They usually have the live trials, so that's mostly what's playing on my TV during the day. So it's always something going. So I do, once again, I'll sit here and watch it and talk to myself like, okay, this makes no sense. That question could have formulated differently. So it's like I'm my own little courthouse, my own
Right.
little courtroom, and go along with it. But law and doing investigations has always been a passion of mine.
Oh, nice. And I'm sure that you'll get a lot of exposure to the legal aspects when you start your forensic psychology program because it kind of ties hand in hand. I'm glad you mentioned that the Law and Crime Network is on YouTube because I did not know that. We used to have it when we had PlayStation View, but since they
Mhm.
went out, discontinued the service, we've been using Hulu Plus Live. And I feel like they used to do that with Court TV. I'm not sure if that's still around. Is it?
Court TV, I haven't seen it around in a long time. I used to have that channel, but since I no longer have my Dish network, I don't have it. But I haven't, I haven't seen Court TV around that much.
Yeah, I don't know if it's still around or if it got merged because yeah, we don't have cable and I don't consider Hulu cable, but I feel like that used to show live trials and then it kind of went from that to reality, like the what is it, the most daring and most
Yeah, most
what is it?
shocking.
Yeah, most shocking stuff. Oh, I used to love that though. Don't get me wrong. I would watch that.
Court TV was my channel back in the day. That's where I saw the OJ trial and all of that stuff. But now it's like because the name is Court TV, I would rather them to just concentrate in some sort of legal issues type of stuff, not just reality shows and whatever. I mean, that turns me off of certain reality TV sometimes turns me off from watching TV anyway.
Yeah.
It's not real. I mean, people perceive that it is, but it gives you a false sense of what reality really is about.
Tune in next week for part two as we continue our conversation with our sister, our friend Dukes. And with that said, thank you for tuning in to this special episode with our friend, our sister, Dukes. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at LC and Aaron. That way, you know when a new episode of the Interracial Perspective Maturity Not Included podcast becomes available. As always, stay safe, stay positive, and be true to yourself.